Hi there. So I actually wasn't going to do this, and I know I said that in the last one, but I wasn't going to make another video about MagFest this year, because I really didn't have all that much more to say about it. But then I decided I did, and I started making a list about things I could say, and then I was like, you know what, maybe I could make a little video about it, and if it's short, it's short. That would be a first for me. So, yeah, welcome to my post-MagFest vlog, where I just talk smooth jazz the whole time. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, the main thing about this MagFest was that it was different. It felt different. There was a lot of different going on. And I mean, we're in a different world now, so that's to be expected. But I will say, this is what we're at Thursday now, so we're 3 or 4 days out, 4 just about, because I left on Sunday. So we're 4 or 5 days out, and honestly, I haven't heard of any of my friends being sick yet, which is miraculous because normally someone has something. So the fact that nobody I know of has anything, let alone COVID, I think is a goddamn miracle. It was funny because right before I started this, I saw some sort of report. Oh my god, it was fucking hyperbole. I saw someone on Twitter mention that MagFest started reporting where people who tested positive were, or whatever. It gave like a list of panels and concerts and all that shit, and the person who tweeted was like, so everywhere everyone was exposed, and I'm like, no. I looked at the list and I was like, none of the panels I went to are on there. I only went to 2, granted, and they weren't vastly attended, but like, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it is a bit, there is a bit of overkill involved there. I think the fear is a bit much, because I don't know. I mean, I took it easy this MagFest. I took long breaks in my room. I didn't try to brush up against people. There were less people. So I think what people who didn't go to MagFest this year expected was that the crowds were as big as normal MagFest. They weren't. You weren't smushed together against people. If you went to a panel, chances are it wasn't full. Chances are it wasn't full. And I think the only one that I saw that was the Name That Tune panel, and I didn't stay in there. So maybe that one was the one, and I didn't stay in there. But you also got to remember that, you don't know, even if there was an exposure somewhere, you don't know who it was. It might not have been the person you were sitting next to. You might have been on the other side of the room from them, and therefore, never interacted with them. So, yeah, I don't know. Of course, then again, I haven't really tested myself yet, so we'll see. I'm going to do it, but I also don't really feel anything at the moment, I guess. So, and at this point, I could have gotten it from work. I will admit that like wearing a mask all weekend did bother me, and bothered a lot of me in different ways. Like my eye was like constantly drying out, and in fact, it was still that way like two days ago. It was like gross because I like woke up in the middle of the night and had to like wash it out. It was not good. And I think that's just because like I was walking around with my glasses and constantly in a fog, and that wasn't good. Like people who know me, who see me outside of my house, never see me with my glasses off. Seeing me with my glasses off is a rare moment. It's like shiny funk. So the fact that so many people saw me with my glasses off over the weekend was like, it was wild because I had to take them off to see, which is very strange for me. And the masks I wore those N95 masks or whatever, they were pretty uncomfortable, I gotta admit. So if at any point I seemed like super low key, or maybe even like didn't like non-reactive or non-enthusiastic or something like that, it's probably because I wasn't feeling super great with all that. I don't mind masks. Let me be the first to say that I don't really mind masks all that much. I don't really complain about wearing them, but I also don't really like it. I do find it a little bit harder to breathe in them, especially when you wear them for, extended amounts of time, which I can understand is, it's a thing. So, I did want to say that if, at any point I seemed not myself, or if I seemed low key, or like I wasn't listening to you or whatever, it was because that's probably why. I was probably uncomfortable in one way or another, or trying to fight the fact that I was blind, and all that stuff. So, I mean, again, to be honest, I'm shocked, like, even, I don't know, maybe we're still in the range of, like, your exposure hasn't shown up yet, or you wouldn't test positive because you're not 5 days out or whatever. But I still find it miraculous. Normally people have con crud by now. Normally people have contracted the flu or bronchitis or a cold or whatever the hell they're going to get from MagFest. It's happened already. So the fact that no one has is pretty amazing, I mean, with that many people there, like, of course there's going to be exposures. Like, I don't think that anybody there, and I think I speak for most people, I don't think that anybody there went into MagFest and was like, nah, we're not going to be in proximity of people who have COVID. I think everybody knows the risks, I think everybody sort of accepted the risk at this point, So I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. I personally think it was worth going, and I do think that it's pretty crazy that there has been as few, I've heard of only a little bit about it as it is. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's fine. I just, to be honest, I think, and I don't know, maybe not to get into this too much, but to be honest, I think that this Omicron variant or whatever, unless you don't leave your house ever, it's going to go through pretty much everybody. Prior to MagFest, the week before MagFest, actually, it wasn't the week before MagFest that I was exposed, but like I was exposed two weeks before MagFest, the week of Christmas, actually. 3 out of the 6 people at my work had it. Tested positive, had it. We're sick. We're out sick. Had to quarantine. I didn't get 2 of my days off the following week because they had to be out for quarantining. I didn't end up with it. I got tested the following Thursday, and I was negative. I got a negative test, so I never had any symptoms or anything like that. So I don't know. So I don't know. I mean, I really do think that, at this point, no matter how vaccinated you are or whatever, it's a roll of the dice whether or not you get it. I mean, for me, I was either going to be at MagFest or I was going to be at a funeral or a funeral home for 2 days. Not because I was dead, but because I actually did have a relative pass away right before MagFest. But, and my parents were like, you should still go. So I did. And that's just how I feel about it. And I think most people accepted that you're opening yourself up to it. And, definitely not the safest thing to go to MagFest, but I think a lot of people were just, I don't know. So we'll see. I just, I haven't heard of anything. So I'm optimistic about it, sort of, kind of. I mean, this is going to be ironic. Tomorrow I'll find out I got it or something, but, again, I think the way Omicron spreads, I think everybody's going to be screwed, but, anyways, so that was one thing, obviously. It was different, but again, I mean, you got to understand, it was way more sparsely populated than usual. There were a lot of people. I mean, it wasn't a a small event or a dead event by any means, but again, at no point was anywhere, was it anywhere like MagFest past. Was never in a long ass line somewhere, was never in a giant group of people, was never in a was never in a panel where I couldn't social distance, or or at a point in the dealer's room where I was stuck, or a point in the console room where I was stuck up against people or anything like that. It wasn't like that, where there wasn't a point where I was struggling to find a place to be. I mean, they had all those tables set up outside where the marketplace used to be, and they were never all full. There was always an empty space for people, and I don't know. I feel like it was a pretty safe, contained event, and if you weren't up against people or whatever, then that's a thing. The concerts or whatever, I didn't go to any, but like, if you did, that was probably the worst place, because you don't know who you're next to necessarily. But like at panels or whatever, you can be close to people I mean, I socially distanced at the panels that I was at. I made sure not to sit directly next to anyone, so I don't know. There you go on that one. Anyways, enough talking about that. It was a different one. I talked about it a little bit in the other vlog, and there's that. So the main part of the vlog where I talked about stuff was taken on day 2, I believe, so I have to talk about day 3 and 4. Day 3 was the day where I finally got to play video games with people. Who knew? Played Mario Party with Tim, Diana, and Sarah Bear. That was fun. That was like my goal for this MagFest. I wanted to play Mario Party with somebody. And we did, and all I did was get happening spaces the whole game and changing where the star was and screwing myself out of stars. So that was an interesting game. Definitely up for playing more Mario Party. And then I played a couple of rounds of Smash with Peyton, and it was actually really fun because we did have like a back and forth going. I think we were both like not quite used to the controllers we were using, but it was fun. We played a couple of rando matches, played a couple with some characters we knew, and it was just, it wasn't Smash like it was last time, but I'd still had a lot of fun with it. And then day 3 was the one with Name That Tune. So, it was day 3 wasn't when we went to Cadillac Ranch, was it? No, that was day 2. Day 3 dinner was, right. Day 3, I don't think we had dinner until after the arcade pit panel. Yeah, because we went to the arcade pit panel. That one clip where I was humming the Mystic Quest battle theme, that was from the arcade pit panel, which was fun. It was like throwing controllers, only arcade pit. So it was a good substitute for that. It still had that vibe, and it was creative, and I very much enjoyed it, actually. I'll have to consider going to that in the future. But yeah, that was a fun one. And then we got food, and then there was Name That Tune, and then I didn't go into Name That Tune. I just kind of sat outside and hung out for a little while. So yeah, that was day 3, and then we went back, and I was like, I don't want to retire already. The night of day 3, I think there was a clip from the vlog where I was like, I hate it. And you do, because you know that's where you got to start cutting things. You got to start packing up a little bit, because day 4 it's like you got to check out of the hotel and lose your home base and all that stuff. But day 3 is when you start feeling it, because it's the last night for a lot of people. For me, anyway. Apparently, a lot of people stayed this year until Monday, and I could have done that because I was off Monday, but I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I needed to be home and reacclimate and all that shit. So I'm kind of glad I went home on Sunday. I could have gone home a little later, but it was fine. And then day 4, Tim and I did a couple of things in the room. Just watching. We actually did something that was really fun and interesting, and a little bit flattering to me. We watched a couple of his old MagFest vlogs, which was fun. I do that a lot anyway because I'm nostalgic and shit. But we watched the one where I first appeared, almost 10 years ago to the day, and I don't know, it was cool. My face was completely shaven, which hasn't happened in years. So that was kind of neat. And we watched a couple of other ones. We watched one from, I think, the year after, where he was talking about his car. His car. He was outside. The Potomac River was partially frozen, which was really cool. Actually, I don't know if I'm just spoiling what's in his vlog, because we did spend a bit of time on camera actually talking about it, but it was actually kind of a cool little segment that we did. I pitched the idea to him that maybe we could he could watch vlogs on stream or something, or do like a vlogception type of deal where he watches all vlogs and comments on some stuff in them. I think that would be cool. There's a lot of history to go through there, even just with MagFest. So, but yeah, and then so we checked out, and then we went over, and actually one of my favorite things happened on the last day. Chugga Conroy actually went and bought a box of Pokemon cards, and we sat at the table and we opened them. We opened all the packs with him, and that was fun. I wish I had gotten that on camera. Oh, that was the other thing I wanted to say. I actually did want to film more, like for a vlog, but my phone does not have memory. Like, I was almost out of memory by day 4. I only had like 16 minutes of film left in my phone, so I was like, I don't want to use it in case I need it for something interesting. All the interesting stuff happened on day 4, and I didn't film any of it, but like, you know, it was you know, so that's why I didn't film as much as I wanted. There was actually more I was gonna like film, but I didn't. And I should have filmed the giant pile of Pokemon cards on the table, because that was actually really fun. I actually did really well pulling that day. I think I pulled like 3 Pokemon V in a row. I think I pulled if you've seen his pictures, I pulled the Genesect, the Sarina, and the Moltres. And then I pulled a V for myself. I pulled Sylveon, which was cool. So it was a good day for Pokemon cards. I bought some Pokemon cards when I came back. I bought 6 packs the other day. I didn't get anything good in them. I got the same rare twice, which made me very sad. So yeah, that was pretty sad. But it was one of the highlights of the trip was, well, because what happened was he bought a box. We didn't do well, and then he was like, maybe I should go buy another box. And we're like, yeah. And then he did, and then we did really well in the second box. That's where he got the Snorlax and the Calyrex, the 2 Calyrexes. Like, yeah, he's kind of made me want to buy more Pokemon cards. Except I want to buy a box like that, because that's the only way you get good shit. You buy random packs, you don't get shit in those. Unless you're lucky, so, you know. But yeah, that was actually one of the highlights of the trip. And then we went to lunch, and it was just me and Chugga and Tim and Diana and Sarah Bear. And we went to Mick and Schmick, which is the local shortening for McCormick and Schmick. It was funny because Chugga was like, we're going to some steakhouse or something, you know. I mean, that's not how he put it. He knew exactly where we're going. He's like, we're going to a steakhouse. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That sounds fancy. And then we got there, and it was Mick and Schmick, and I was like, oh yeah, I know Mick and Schmick. I'm from around here. I'm fairly local, right? Did you just fucking wink after you said fairly local? You asshole. I did that when I was talking to, I think it was Sarah outside of the one panel that we didn't go in. I was very proud of myself. I was like, I'm fairly local. And I was like, hey, I've been listening to that album, haven't I? Um, but yeah, no, McCormick and Schmick, my parents are friends with a guy who used to be like like a bigwig in that company. He actually helped open the one in National Harbor. He lives in Florida now and runs his own omelet business or something. But he was actually a bigwig at McCormick and Schmick. So 6 degrees of separation, maybe. I mean, I know who he is. I've met him a couple times. Not like I can get anything there now because he's been out of the business for years, but I did know him at one time. Well, I still know him, but he's not. Never mind. Shut up. But yeah, and then we left after we did lunch there. But honestly, that's one of those things that was kind of on my MagFest bucket list. I always wanted to have lunch with Chugga. I should have introduced myself way earlier than like after lunch, and I'm saying goodbye. But like, yeah, we did it, and I was happy for it, and I had a good time, and I hope to do it again because that was a fine group of people. It was definitely cool getting to hang out with some other people who maybe I wouldn't have otherwise gotten to hang out with. CWAP Tweeter. He was a cool guy that I hung out with, and I'd never hung out with Sarah that much before, so it was definitely cool getting to know a couple new people. I like try to do a couple new people every year, try to do a couple new ones, But it's kind of cool that people like sort of came together because, these are people I've seen at MagFest all the time. And, this was the year to finally hang out with them a little bit. And it was cool, It's always a good crowd. Always very good crowd. A lot of people were conscientious about the whole COVID thing. It was just, it was really nice. So, yeah, those were a couple of highlights that I didn't actually get to talk about in the vlog. And I really wish I would have filmed a little bit of well, I filmed us going to Mick and Schmicks, but I didn't film anything about the Pokemon cards, which was sad because I really enjoyed that because I like opening Pokemon cards. It's fun. Let's see. I have a little list here. Room Fun. Did I talk about Room Phone? I talked about need new phone. I need to get a new phone because mine doesn't have any memory. I didn't talk about Room Fun. I think I talked a little bit about. I think I did talk about it a little bit about how like one of my favorite thing to do at MagFest is to have people hang out in my room, because it's so much quieter. Like this year we played games in the console room, which sounds like a really stupid ass place to play games, but it was really the only place we could because you would have to bring your own TV into the hotel room if you wanted to play games in the hotel room, which I'm going to do next year because you know what? I really love having people come back to the room and playing games with them in the room because it's so much quieter. It's more intimate. It's like you actually feel like you're with the person. I know I get more and more specific on this every year. I want small groups. Okay, I'm hanging out in small groups. There was never a time this year where the group was more than like 10 people, and that was brief. I could count the time on this many fingers when that was probably the case, and it was the 2 times we went to BurgerFi, and that's it. Other times, I mean, it was like 5 or 6 maybe. That was about it. So it was always kept well good, but I also do like hanging out at in a hotel room because it just feels like I'm hanging out with people, like chilling at home. It's like I feel like there's when I'm in a group of people, people like nod your head if you've seen me doing this, but when I'm with a group of people, you will often catch me staring at nothing. I don't know if I talked about this in the other vlog, but I think I did, but you will often I know I talked to Tim about it, but you'll often catch me staring at basically nothing. You'll find me fixating on something weird in the room that's not people, and it's not that I'm not listening, it's just that I'm like focusing on something else because it's not my turn to talk, really. And it's not that I'm not present, it's just that I don't know. I don't do well in groups because I never find the right place to insert myself. Exactly. So I often just kind of focus on shit in the distance. So In a room, I'm way less likely to do that because there is more quiet, and I feel like those are the perfect times for me to start talking or whatever. I'm not good at initiating with all that stuff, unfortunately. But so that's why I always like room fun. So like if I ever talk about like wanting to come back to the room, do you want to come back to the room and chill? Do you want to do this? Do you want to, that's why, because I don't like being in a public space and trying to, justify everything. And I gotta say, like, that was the biggest thing about this MagFest that wasn't, it wasn't balanced as far as knowing what to do, because normally you have like one or two panels that you can base your whole day around, really. And we didn't really have that this year. A lot of the time when I was in a group, it was just, what do you want to do? Well, what do you want to do? I don't know. I'm just happy to be here. And that was true. I was happy to be there, but like, I think I also would have been happy if I was there playing video games with people while also being there, because I did a lot of random staring at people and random going through Twitter and Discord on my phone, and that's not what you want to do. I mean, I remember there was a part, I think it was night 3, where we were sitting in the atrium at a table, and like almost everyone in the group was on their phone, and I was like, this is not right. I mean, I can enjoy being in someone's presence without actually doing anything. And I think that's a bit of a gift, but we're at MagFest. I want to play some games with people. I don't get to do that enough. I love doing I love playing Mario Party and Smash and all that stuff with people in the room with me. It's fun. I have fun doing it. But, it's a little hard when, I don't know. So, I mean, that's what I really like. So, unfortunately, it's a little bit hard to convince people to do that, especially when you are at a hotel that is up the street. So I don't know. And you have such a limited amount of time, you don't want to do this and that, whatever, I don't know. That's what I like, though. That's my preferred MagFest. If I could stay all weekend in a hotel, I would love to do that. I would love to create my own con where it's just a bunch of people decide to show up at a hotel and hang out for a while, I wish we could do that. And I think the cool thing about having an aging group is that maybe someday we can do that. It'll, just be a dozen people and we can hang out like a TRG Coliseum sort of thing. But not stream, just hang out. So, I don't know. Which brings me to my next thing. My birthday was during MagFest. I turned 30. There's going to be a whole vlog on that. I didn't quite have the 30th birthday that I wanted, because I wanted it to be a little bit more involved. But my goal, my ambition was this. When I learned my 30th birthday was going to take place at MagFest, I have always wanted to take the the NCS mod group or whatever, and find like a karaoke room maybe in Washington DC or something and go there. Like, I know it skips part of MagFest and that sucks, but and go there and have like a big karaoke night, and people could film it so that it could be part of Tim's vlog and people could sing and get the let out, and that was always my ambition. But there were so few people going this year that I didn't really push that. So maybe when I turn 31, because it'll be on a Friday next year, we can plan that. And I think that's kind of what my plan will be. If 2023 is looking like a good year and we're gonna have everybody back, I'm thinking I'm going to ask to plan something like that, because, and it's, it's not that people weren't nice or whatever on my birthday, but like, or people didn't wish me a happy birthday, because a lot of people did, but, it was just, I guess I didn't plan a whole lot, and I guess I kind of have to, because I can't really depend on people to do it for me or surprise me or whatever, and, I think a lot of people didn't even really know when it was, but, next year, maybe I'll be a little bit more gung-ho about it, because I would love to do that. I would love to do the karaoke thing or whatever, just something, And it's no one's fault. I know a lot of people tried to make it a thing. If Diana's watching this, she was like, I wanted to buy you a drink. And I was like, but I didn't. That was my bad. I should have been a little bit more aggressive at that point, because that was one of those times where I would pick out random things and stare at them because I was being polite and also bored. But, you know, I need to get better about that. That'll be more in the 30 vlog when I do that, because I've been wanting to do that and I'm very excited about it. I think the only thing that leaves is my haul, because I didn't actually get to show everything that I got. Here, let me start with. Bought a little box of Pokemon cards because, you know, everyone else was. So I was like, I'm not going to commit to buying a $100 box of Pokemon cards, although I could have and should have probably, because that would have been fun. But I did buy me a little box, and I got a Sylveon, so that was kind of nice. So that was one thing. I don't know if we saw this in the vlog, but I bought this Celeste, which is kind of like got a 3D effect. These people are here every year. I will say one thing that was kind of disappointing to me about the dealer's room this year, and I remember seeing this when they were taking applications, but I think they only took applications from people who had been there previously, and I think specifically who had been there in 2020. So it was kind of samey. There wasn't really a whole lot like new there, which was kind of a shame. But I know these people, I bought a Luigi magnet from years ago, and I feel like someone buys something from here every year because it's cool. But this Celeste stuck out to me, obviously, because, you know, you don't find Celeste things. I saw a bunch of Terra art, but I never saw Celeste. So I was like, all right, well, this is the year for that. And then I talked about these as well. I think I showed Nagi. I mentioned that I got Nagi and a spoiler character who I'm still not going to show because you should play Neo Tooie. Play Neo Tooie. Do it. So I got Nagi. Very cute. And I also went back and I bought Rindo and Shoka because I like them. And I wanted more of the party, and I wanted to support an artist who makes Neo Tooie content because I did like the game. I did enjoy it very much. So there you go. And then I think I showed this in the bag, but this is my the Tifa keychain I bought. Very cute. It might hang on my bulletin board for a while until I can find something I can legit clip it to, because I don't want to get damaged. So, but that was really cute. And then the last thing I bought was this, and I was gonna put this together on during the video, but maybe I'll just post a picture of it on Twitter. But I bought this Tifa standee, which is really cool. It's got a couple of parts to it. So like it goes in this, like inside this, and then it has a background that says, that's like her final smash, her limit break. It says it right there, man. And it's got a big background and all that. So, you know, I'll be assembling that, and that'll be a good shelf item. But yeah, I mean, this was cool art. I love acrylic standees. I got one 2 years ago of the Ice Cream Trio from Kingdom Hearts. Axel, Xion, and Roxas that I love, except that I didn't do it right, because like you can probably tell, like, it's a little bit blurry. There's like a little film over it that makes it like kind of foggy, and you're supposed to take that off before you go jamming it in the hole, and instead I jammed it in the hole. So when I looked at it and started to peel it off of Roxas, now Roxas is loose because he doesn't, like, the base doesn't have the thickness of the film on it, so it's like And then, of course, a couple of years ago, I bought Bride Cordelia, which is still one of my favorite things that I own. I miss this artist. They haven't been back. They weren't back in 2020, and then, which means they weren't back this year either, which is unfortunate because I absolutely love this piece. I got a couple of keychains from that stall too, I think. One of them got really into NFTs, I think. Actually, I think that's the one I didn't buy from, which is probably a good thing. But so yeah, that's what I got. It was a decent little haul. I didn't go too crazy this year. Oh, I also got a Yu Yu Hakusho charm, which is, there's a hanger stuck to it. What the fuck? I put it on here because I was carrying it around. I didn't want to. I really like Yu Yu Hakusho, and I love that people are still making art of it for some reason. Like, there's really no reason to be making art of Yu Yu Hakusho in 2022, but like, here we are. It's weird because I spend way much more time with Dragon Ball, and there was plenty of Dragon Ball art, and I didn't buy any of that, so I don't know what the deal is. I think my thing is that I like cauliflower, so if I see cauliflower, I buy cauliflower. There's no cauliflower. No one makes art of cauliflower. So yeah, overall, MagFest 2022, a different experience. Glad I went. Worth the risk in my opinion. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of philosophical stuff to say about it this time, or not. I'm saving all the self-pity for the 30 vlog. But I think this year I was just glad to go. And I think I felt satisfied. I actually did not. Usually at the end of MagFest, I cry. I get choked up when I'm hugging people saying goodbye. I cry in my car, and then I cry when I get home. And I did none of that this year. And I get the feeling it's because it's been 2 years, and I was just completely satisfied to get to go and see people again. And, I think one of the big things that's really re-energizing about MagFest, and that's wonderful about it, and especially this year, was that, like, you go there and you hang out with people, and it's proof that there are still real people in the world that care about you and want to be with you. I think there's, and I think that getting that after 2 years of for me, it wasn't isolation. For me, it was 2 years of nothing but work. Getting that after 2 years of nothing but work and being around people that I really don't care a whole lot for, beyond a work relationship, it was good. It felt really good just to be in the presence of people that I choose to be with, right? And that I want to be with, and that that have brought me a lot of joy and happiness throughout the years. This was my 10th MagFest, by the way. I was going to make a big deal out of it and do parts of the vlog on it, but I'm going to save that for when I can do visual stuff with it. But, this was my 10th MagFest, and it was just so nice getting to come back to it. It was a wonderful opportunity to get to meet up with these people again, and I'm happy about it, It definitely made me feel good just to be like, you know what? Because here's the thing about the internet, people, right? Here's the thing about people on the internet, is that you make so many assumptions about people on the internet, especially when you primarily communicate through text with them. You make a lot of assumptions about the way people feel about you, or like, if they're not messaging you, they don't like you or whatever, or maybe you think they're mad at you, and that's so not the case. And to discover that by going to a place like MagFest and having someone you haven't seen in a year or two go, oh yeah, cool, I'm so glad to see you. What's up with you? How are you doing? And just giving a shit. What games have you been playing? What can you recommend me? Can we make jokes together? It's very reaffirming. It's definitely like, okay, good. The world's still out there somewhere. We haven't changed that much. If everything is, look. We all assumed that COVID was going to change the world, right? And we slowly started to slip back into corporate madness, and realized that COVID changed nothing for the better. But let me tell you something. The good news is that COVID did not change the love that we have for one another, okay? That's still there. We all still enjoy each other. It still feels good being in the presence of other humans. If you didn't go to MagFest, this is what I'm telling you right now. It's still good. It's still good. Being with people is still good. Talking video games, real life with people in person, it's still good. And it makes me feel warm feelings in my heart, and I was happy, and it was a good time. And it felt good, you know? And if I find myself sick with COVID this weekend, it was fucking worth it. You know? So, you know, and if I don't find myself with COVID, well, that was a fucking miracle, eh? I'm a twice survivor of coming into close proximity with this shit and not getting it. Come at me, bitch. Just kidding. I'm not gonna. But, yeah, look, see, hey, I said, oh, it's not going to be a very long one, and we're here 40 minutes later, and I'm still talking. But I'm glad I said the thing about humans still being good, because it's still there, man. It's still there. And one day, we're all going to be smart, we're all going to be rich, and we're going to be able to do MagFest whenever the fuck we want. I don't know. I thought I'd say something hyperbolic, right? So, yeah, man. It was a good time, and I'm glad I went, and I'm glad I talked to you about it, because I really wanted to. But like, so yeah, there's probably a lot of things I forgot to say, but I think that 40 minutes is enough of your time. If you want to hear more, come to my streams and ask. I don't give a shit. I'm here for you whenever fucking, you know, Thursdays, Sundays, whenever, man. Come at me. But yeah, I gotta go. Kind of. I don't know, I guess I don't, but yeah, man, I'm telling you, it's you know, maybe this is the high of MagFest still happening, but I don't know. After MagFest, I just feel like this is the point where the world starts getting better. You know, you might see that lots of people were exposed at MagFest, but again, I think this is the point where we're right on the cusp of figuring it out and being able to live with this, you know, just based on everything. I'm not going to get into it, obviously, but I think we're going to get there. And I don't know. I think it's going to get better. This is going to get better. The world will find something else to replace the shittiness of COVID with. I'm convinced of that as well. So don't get excited. But like, you can get excited that maybe this was the first step to having conventions back, and friends and love and peace and whatever the hell else comes with this shit. So, yeah, man. I guess that's it. And, hey, I hope to see you in person real soon.